to this minute and has anchored robust engagements which defined the last election and subsequent political and policy discourse. The primary bone of contention is, who does the government work for? An old and favored approach to answering this question was to pledge to do more, in fact, much more, of the same old policies, programs, projects, and interventions that have failed at such a high cost that poverty, unemployment, and underdevelopment are actually intolerable. The other option was to embrace a bold vision and undertake ambitious interventions aimed at transforming the country's economy by creating jobs, increasing incomes, while ensuring that food, shelter, and health are available to everyone, especially those of us who are not privileged. I say this in reflection because a trend was created that using other people's money, which is debt, is a very innovative way of delivering government programs, which is the biggest fallacy, because as a result of using other people's money and contracting debt left, right, center, front and back, we drove our country almost to the brink of debt distress. And it became our first assignment to steady the economy of our country and to pull back our country from going over the cliff. I am very proud today that almost a year in, our economy has steadied. I am very proud.
Hi, my name is Mongamili. I am a guide here in my city, Johannesburg, South Africa.
Sparked my interest is that I like to show people around my city, give them a different perspective from what they'd get from just traveling on their own. I know the hidden gems and I have a very deep passion and love for my city, which I like to share. You need to be someone who's somewhat fit and able to walk for quite a long time. You need to be very talkative. You need to be very friendly, but also outgoing. But the most important thing is that you need to know how to listen. Because as much as you're giving the tour, you also need to listen to the people who are at your tour and understand their perspectives, understand what they're looking for, but also engage with them so it is a full-on experience for them.
And the best ways and means of implementing them. Ultimately, it became clear that the new approach to national development was not only going to be ambitious and visionary, it was also going to be radical and transformative. To begin with, the plan was going to turn the national development agenda upside down. From the traditional top-down model that is essentially elite-centric to a bottom-up model that is citizen-centric, and people-centered. Secondly, the model would aim to positively impact millions of Kenyans at the bottom by focusing interventions where the greatest number find their livelihoods, which is the informal sector, and especially agriculture and the hustler economy. Thirdly, a new model will entail measures to not only create millions of jobs and increase incomes, but also reduce the cost of living by mitigating the cost of energy, transport, shelter, healthcare as a share of household incomes. We agreed with Kenyans that to deliver this transformative model, 5 sectors would form the core pillars of our agenda to bring down the cost of living, eradicate hunger, create jobs, expand the tax base, improve our foreign exchange balance, and deliver inclusive growth, and to do so from the bottom up. These sectors are agriculture, micro and small medium enterprise economy, affordable housing, universal healthcare coverage, and digital superhighway with a creative economy. These form the pillars of Better, our plan, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which sets out my performance contract with the people of Kenya that I entered on behalf of all of us to be delivered by the entire government. The terms of the contract are fairly straightforward. In return for paying their due taxes in a timely fashion, the citizens of this country not only expect but are entitled to receive the benefits of all government services in a prompt and satisfactory manner. By virtue of our governing mandate, we are committed to the performance of our part of the contract, and so in full. I have talked to many Kenyans as I travel out of my office. I was in Murang'a the other day, and speaking to ordinary people, they have confirmed that they do not want their country saddled with unnecessary punitive debts. They were very clear to me. And they have committed that, yes, they are going to pay taxes, but they demand, and rightfully so, delivery of every service that is due to them, and that nobody steals their money. That they were unequivocal. The robust national debate over the bottom-up economics demonstrated that the people of Kenya are highly engaged with the policies that affect their interests and are ready to give good policies a chance. The animation which characterized national and parliamentary debate over Finance Act is, in my view, had more to do with the absence of a consistent culture of promise-keeping in our politics and of faithful alignment between government policy and the people's aspirations. As a result, there are Kenyans who do not even believe that a government has an obligation to deliver its pledges, and view manifestos and campaign platforms as empty political performances and meaningless tricks and noise. You know, because for a very long time, we've made campaign pledges to be what you say looking for votes when you don't actually mean to deliver on them. In fact, there are even leaders, including members of the clergy, who have been sympathetic and tried, with the best intentions, to suggest ways of enabling the government and myself to run away from some of the commitments we made in the campaigns. Some clergy have said, I think it's okay. You made a promise, but it's difficult to keep, so just, you know. And it's because of the culture that has been built. Many people did not believe that we are going to have a hustler fund. Many people did not believe that we are going to reduce the cost of fertilizer. Many people did not believe that we are going to hire 55,000 teachers in under 1 year, because commitments, promises have been made with no intention to keep any of those promises. And I see the difficulty that people have when we have to make difficult decisions. They think that we have overcommitted ourselves. I want to tell the people of Kenya, the commitments we made, the promises we made, we will keep each and every one in full. Some Kenyans are even suspicious that we are implementing revenue measures without any intention to deliver any public services at all, let alone the elaborate agenda that we have set out. While I appreciate the goodwill and concern, I wish to state in no uncertain terms, in order to clear any confusion and to give comfort to all Kenyans, that administration is committed, fully committed, to the implementation of the pledges and commitments contained in our bottom-up economic transformation agenda plan. We promised that our government would defend the Constitution and constitutionalism, institutionalize issue-based, performance-oriented politics, and implement better our plan. We shall not run away from any of the commitments therein. We will keep them. This is the context in which we have negotiated, developed, and are today going to witness the signing of the first generation of ministerial performance contract for the financial year 2023-2024. Performance contracting in the government of Kenya is now in its 20th year of continuous implementation, and over that time, the performance contracts have evolved into a robust tool employed by government for measuring the performance of ministries, departments, and agencies in serving the people of Kenya. I don't know whether it is because these performance contracts have been going on for 20 years that many people maybe mistakenly think that it is a ritual. And that is why people resort to the old incompetent excuses that there was traffic, for them not to be in a public, the most important public function. We have a job because we have a contract. If you cannot keep time with your employer, you have basically dismissed yourself. I mean, it's just as simple as that. So, for those who came late, who are members of the executive, I will be expecting a written explanation, and it should not include matters of traffic, on why they do not take these performance contracts seriously. because if you do not take this performance contracting seriously, it means we do not take the contract with the people of Kenya on performance seriously. And that can be a very serious indictment on anybody. The performance contracts framework has also been critical in enabling government identify, collect, collate,